So I'm here with Michelle Wooldridge, CEO at Pikos Group. Michelle, thank you so much for taking the time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, you've been working in the market for quite some time, been working for many of the big developers, and now here with Pikos Group, and I understand you're part of the PCA, the Property Council of Australia.
Yep.
Can you talk to us a bit about how you see the market here in Brisbane and Queensland more broadly?
Yeah, I think for me, I guess reflections on Brisbane is we are just coming into our own now. I think over the last kind of 5 to 7 years as an industry, we've really evolved in terms of that apartment market, especially with that kind of owner-occupier. Now, interstate and internationally, people are starting to find out about Brisbane. I think as a city, we've evolved a lot and we've come a long way in terms of just that placemaking and the different precincts that we've got within the cities. And, some of those are at the start in terms of Eagle Street at Dexus. Some are coming to completion with Queen's Wharf. So we've got these really big precincts coming together. They're going to be exacerbated, obviously, by the delivery of the Olympics. And you've got these really strong underlying fundamentals. And so there's just so much momentum, I think, on the ground at the moment when you're kind of living and breathing it on the ground in Brisbane.
Well, certainly when we look at our data, what we notice is that, Queensland actually has the highest number of people from interstate looking into Queensland. So we see that across from the Melbourne audience and from Sydney, all looking at Queensland. And I think what's been great to see is kind of the support they've had at council. They've got great developers that are kind of doing good projects. And, obviously there's a little bit of friction with some of the infrastructure projects coming up. Do you want to tell us a bit about how you kind of see that playing out with the hospital developments and the Olympics as well?
Yeah, I think it's such a kind of double-edged sword because obviously it's a really big positive in terms of the health projects, the infrastructure that state and local government are putting into Queensland. But then the counter side of that is it's putting so much pressure on the subcontractor market. So I would like to think we're kind of somewhat on the other side of that. I think kind of the last 12, 24 months has been a perfect storm where we've had this exorbitant amount of pre-sale product from a residential perspective. Now we've got to build it. The builder's kind of preferring to obviously go to that kind of managing contractor, state-backed infrastructure projects. And it all just comes back down to kind of the depth in that subcontractor market. So I think all the right conversations are starting to happen, definitely in terms of what I get visibility to with Property Council and the broader kind of development industry. But I think it's been kind of massive pressure cooker for us as an industry. Developers and builders are under pressure. And I think that's where, from our perspective, with that supply as that kind of underlying fundamental, we just know that the prices are they're not going to go backwards. Everyone's got confidence in the growth that's going to happen in Brisbane because it kind of has to. We've never had such little supply, yet we've got these interstate and international migration that are after the premium product. We're still very affordable comparative to kind of interstate. So that's what really gives us the confidence, I think, kind of coming through to the next 12, 24 months and how we trade back into the market.
Yeah, and I think, when I look at back to COVID, and I even shudder to even say COVID now because we're kind of on the other side, but, one of the key things that I've noticed that, certainly in our data, and just even talking to buyers, is that people kind of reassessed what's important to them and how do they want to be living their lives. And I think, when you've got the great weather and now great product as well for people, I think that's kind of those drivers in conjunction with the kind of overseas net migration. I think it's going to set Brisbane up for a big 2024.
Totally agree. And that's where I think I worked on Cross River Rail many years ago in terms of those precincts. And at the time, looking at those precincts and just the amount of supply that was going to come out of those precincts from a residential perspective, I really struggled with it as a concept because back then, we didn't have this kind of economic growth that we know we're going to have over the next kind of 5 to 10 years in the lead up to the Olympics. And now you could probably bring on all of that supply and it would get absorbed quite quickly. So yeah, it's pretty exciting times. And I think, as you say, people have made that kind of flick in their mind about how they want to spend their time, which really gravitates people towards apartments as a genuine option. So people don't want to be doing the, yard maintenance and pool maintenance. So this lifestyle option of these high-end, well-located projects are very real, not only for baby boomers, but we're also seeing it even in those kind of mature families where the kids don't need the yard anymore. They're finishing off high school or off to unis. And I think that's where, a lot of the people in Brisbane locally, we all could see this with the product that was coming through the market over the last kind of 5 to 10 years. And so we're kind of well ahead, which was, one of my reasons for wanting to come to Pacos was just the quality of the projects and aligning that with what the market is after. it's like a perfect combination.
And so with Pacos, do you mind just sharing a bit about kind of what's the pipeline look like for you guys and what are you working on now?
Yeah, so it's a huge pipeline. So we've got a $1.2 billion pipeline, and they're all, other than kind of Sky, they're all in that kind of conversion phase in terms of coming to market early next year, getting under construction. So it's a very diverse portfolio as well, but the thing that attracted and gave me the comfort to kind of make the move was the fact that they're all very well located in precincts that you're very confident on that kind of underlying fundamentals and the growth trajectory into the future.
Yeah.
So if they're not riverfront, they'll be located near the river or within a good precinct like West End, for example. We have a health project as well, private hospital at Annerley. So for me, it was a great project pipeline and starting to build that team, I guess, to now convert and deliver. And I think as well, Pacos traditionally has been more kind of B2B, where they were getting DAs and on-selling the sites to developers. That flipped kind of when they got Sky as their kind of first really flagship project to deliver. And so now, it's a very different mindset when you know that you're going to be there not only to the end, but you're going to have stock as the developer, you're going to hold the management right. So it's just a very different lens, I think, to how you develop that project and that product.
Yeah, one of the things we kind of always encourage buyers, and even just like when we're looking for our own partners within urban of who we're working with, and we're stoked to be partnered with Pacos.
Yeah, great.
But, I think the depth of the experience that people have and having kind of track record where you've been delivering stuff and working on a diverse range of projects, being hospitals, as well as, a large portfolio of these residential developments, as you say, in good areas. That kind of research, I think, should be giving buyers confidence.
100%. And that's where I think I look at kind of, I've only been here for kind of 4.5 months, but what we've done in that 4.5 months with this new team where, a lot of us are ex-tier one kind of from Lendlease background and, long-standing with even our sales and marketing director who delivered West Village here with Sekasui. And so bringing all that kind of tier one corporate capability with a very entrepreneurial, innovative Pedro Picos, together, you'll see in time what we're kind of developing at Lambert Street at Kangaroo Point. And for me, that is the product of those two worlds coming together, and it's extremely exciting.
Well, we're super excited to be partnered with you guys. I think you've assembled an awesome team and looking forward to what Pacos is going to deliver over the next couple of years.
Yeah, me too. Thanks
Thanks very much.